Greetings everybody! In this video I will show you how to clear 2000 Lunacy rifts, which is the highest you can have now in the game, using the Vindicator build. So I'm gonna show how it's done first, and then explain the build, because there's no point explaining if I can't beat it. So as you can see, our main weapon is the permagun, and we are gonna use the target nearest enemy key a lot. We're going to use it just to see where the next enemy is, because high level rift is a clusterfuck and there's like a lot of shit flying around. And so, where are the enemies? And so we're going to see where the enemy is when we have like 1,000 arrows on the screen by looking where our projectiles fly. Then we use corrosion, this corrosion blast or whatever. So this we just use whenever it's available. Obviously it's the mode which restarts when you kill the enemy, so it's very frequently available. After like several seconds pass, we use another warfare ability, so we have the damage shield again. And the final ability from the warfare type is Annihilator Virus, which we use to again keep up the damage shield and reduce enemy damage dealt to us. We use the boost all the time, naturally, because that reduces your damage taken. Use the ulti whenever available as well. And when boosting, I use up-down movement like this, because it seems like it helps to get less damage from the enemy. I switch to Ghost Cannon when the target is a slow target like this, because it can like deal more damage this way. So yeah, the first level is always easy, and you just keep using your warfare abilities, spacing them several seconds each. Oh, I failed it. Yeah, that's the issue. The resolve mechanic is too much, and you often just like physically cannot do enough damage. Like this build, I can add nothing more to make more damage with it. So how am I supposed to beat the resolve? I don't know. Sometimes I do it, but sometimes it's just not possible. Just because like mathematically the damage just doesn't add up. But sometimes it's possible to do it. It's just luck. With the highest level of rift in the game, some luck is expected to affect it. So in this case, it's kind of luck-based if you can beat the resolve, but then again, in a new version of the game, you don't have to beat the resolve if you don't use a reliquary. And if you need to open a reliquary, you can always like play it on the level it requires. They require at most about 700, I think, 800. So if you challenge yourself to beat the highest possible rift in the game without reliquary, I think it's okay to not be too quick about it. So yeah, it's about luck, and since I'm talking, I'm not playing my best. So maybe I'll have to shut up a bit in higher, like level 2, level 3. So yeah, that's the general gameplay. You target the next enemy, you space your warfare devices about 4 or 5 seconds each. So you don't immediately do corrosion and then annihilator. You do corrosion first, like corrosion, then wait several seconds. If I would have corrosion available, of course, now I don't have it. I mean annihilator. Like corrosion, wait several seconds, then annihilator. Wait several seconds, then you can EMP. And of course keep an eye on your drones. If they get damaged, you can get new drones by picking them up. But usually, unless you get very bad gates, it doesn't happen. Alright, so what damages me that hard? What the hell? So you have to keep an eye for several enemies. The ones which have basically hit scan weapons, which hit you immediately. which means you can't really dodge it well. And I think it's high or Ocar Prime defenders or protectors, the ones which create bubbles of blue color, which shoot towards you, because if you shoot them with your weapon, you easily counter these bubbles. If you don't, these bubbles easily take your whole shield. Like one burst and your shield is gone. It's insane. Right, so now the gates. The gates can fuck you up because there are several buffs which you just can't take as the Vindicator. And let's see. This is obviously no use because we can't use our main weapon. So we are forced to choose this, which is insanely crappy. Like this is probably gonna like make this unbeatable because, as you can see, 300 meters range is very hard to keep up. Many enemies, they just stay outside of this range, and you cannot really do anything to change that. So it's going to be even slower, but this is manageable. What you can't manage is if the enemies explode on death, because that easily starts a chain reaction, and this chain reaction just kills you. So it's like you can do nothing about it. You also can't really like survive well. Oh my god, I'm already getting wrecked. You really can't deal well with farsightedness when you have to stay away from targets, because your abilities are all close ranged and it's hard to really hit outside of that range well some enemies. So you aim to be close, and if you can't be close, it's really hard. It's very hard to deal with enemies dropping mines, because usually these mines will kill your drones randomly, and if you have no drones, the enemies all target you. And since you are not like a gunship, which can tank, well, you die if the enemies target you. Simple as that. Oh my god. Fat fingered the shield. Yeah, you can fat finger your shield and you accidentally turn it off, which is annoying. So what can kill you? This can kill you. This bam bam bam. Ah, no, this is fine. This is fine. It's the... what is it? Scout or something? Yeah. Outlaw, elite outlaw scout or a prototype scout. This thing can kill you. It's a very, very high damage and very accurate attack. Then the Viper can kill you, because corrosion just takes away all your armor at this difficulty level. And the Ocar Prime Defender or Protector, then remember, yeah, this one is insane. Yeah, and failed again, because like, how am I supposed to do that much damage? I don't even know. EMP is really mostly useful to be a shield, because if you use it when there are many enemies nearby, it very quickly resets and you can use it again. And every use is 5-second shield for 5 next hits, which is very, very good. And if there are not many enemies nearby, then the cooldown is longer, but you don't need it as much. Yes, and you hear that blips, the blue attack. This is also very bad for you. So basically when you see these attacks, you should react to them and see where they are coming from and kill the target. Because you really can't let them fire at you, because you're gonna die. Naturally. Other attacks are usually fine. Yeah, so this is Outlaw Scout. Oh, I can't hit him. Nice. Now I can. So just watch out for the attacks which can kill you. If you see them coming, you turn towards the enemy and look for the enemy which is appropriately named to target him first. If you don't have the names, because you had to took the no names gate, like every enemy is named Ancient, you can still distinguish them by the fact that like the projectile spawns from that enemy. With experience you can also like know by heart which enemy has shields, which enemy doesn't. But for now I just rely on the fact that, yeah, this Proto Scout is bad. On the fact that you can like see the projectiles coming from the enemy itself. And that helps. Oh my god, this is bad. Like, what is this? I don't know which enemy does that yet. Not that skilled. But yeah, this enemy is annoying. The one which overheats you. Right. Maybe it's the bomber? I don't know. Let's go try him. I'm gonna pop one of the cooldowns, because why not? So you can't really get like a tunnel vision on an enemy, because you constantly have to watch out if you get attacked by some bad attack. If you are, you have like several seconds to react until you're dead. On this difficulty level, I have no drone. Okay, so we're almost there. Now we'll see if we get screwed or not by the game. Because the game can give us like an unwinnable choice. Like two gates. One is the far side, which in this case means we are gonna always deal less damage. And the other is, for example, like not target enemies. I mean, what is it? Enemies cannot be locked, yes, or whatever. I actually don't know if it cannot be locked or targeted. If you can target, we naturally can't fire our heat-seeking thermogun. Oh, my hit points are very low. I mean the shield. But maybe it's only about missile targeting, but not the weapon targeting, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna find out if the game screws me up. Right, we are done with the second level. Let's see. So, not the damage on death, not the far side. We are stacking up something we can't take. Yeah, this is death. Well, not really death, it's like very hard. This is fine. Okay, it's fine. Okay, this is even better. Because it's better to know their name than to know their hit points. The hit points don't really matter at this difficulty level. Because you just, well, you just can't kill them fast enough anyways. Okay, so... And I made a very nice mistake. So as you can see, my hotkeys are F keys, just because I use a mouse, like F6 there, F7 there, because I use the mouse to like press all the buttons, Logitech mouse. And so one of the hotkeys was the hotkey which actually stops recording. Anyways, so I managed to replay this and I found a setup where I have the same bad debuff, the one with nearsighted, but I couldn't find the second debuff. Oh my god, what's going on? Give me a moment where I kill everybody who tries to murder me. So yeah, I couldn't find the good second debuff, like where you don't see the hit points. So now I have the debuff where they are faster, which is insane. Yeah, I should construct some drones before I continue talking. Right, where are more drones, please? And we have a protector on our ass. Where is the protector? Right, let's get back to business. So, I have to play with the Enemy Wars debuff now, because now I have evasive, which means they move faster, and it's even harder to keep up with them. But let's see if we can clear the game anyway. So when you see these blue orbs, you have to kill this prime protector immediately, or it will wreck you. So let's do just that. Have an ulti ready. Ulti, please. Thank you. So you see, if you attack it, you shoot down its orbs. So it's like easy to survive, but if you don't attack it, the orbs will deal insane damage for you. And you can see there's a bug. I have 5 out of 6 drones, but actually I have all the 6 drones. The problem is that, I'm gonna use a damage boost in the drone now. The problem is that it's a bug and it just shows it inappropriately, like it's dead. It's actually not dead. Alright, let's continue. Keep on winning. Is he ready? So yeah, when you see this protector, just immediately target it because it's a pain in the ass and it's gonna kill you very quickly if you don't. Oh my god. It's very hard when they actually like... Yeah, I'm speechless. It's very hard when they are both fast and you have to stay close to them. Alright. We are almost there. We are almost in time. But it keeps teleporting away. Can we kill something in time? Can we kill something in time, please? Can we kill something in time, please? 7, 6, 5, 4... We can! Oh my god! So this time I completed all the stages. You can see all green. And even a worse debuff, which is evasive. So yeah, this is unbeatable. Unbeatable boss. I'm gonna show you, and then I'm gonna show you a beatable boss. So with the bosses, there are 2 bosses which you can't beat. It's this one and the teleport one. Why? Well, because you just can't reach the boss. If you don't have the ability, like you cannot change your devices. Yeah, you can't change the devices. And, well, if you haven't selected teleport or, what is it? Teleport or booster device, you lose. You lose. You can't beat the boss. But sometimes this happens. So, if I wouldn't have gotten lucky there, the boss would keep flying away. The cooldown on the highest difficulty, the cooldown on the boss flying or teleporting away is very small. And even if you boost forward at full speed, you can't get close enough before the boss teleports away again. Unless maybe you have like a railgun or a cruise missile. But again, how many endgame builds use railguns or cruise missiles? So if you get that boss, you're just out of luck. I mean, right now I got lucky, but if I wouldn't have gotten lucky, I wouldn't have beaten that boss. So yeah, as you can see, perfectly doable. One of the worst setups I had to take, with nearsightedness and quick enemies, but managed to do it. Now let's explain the build. For devices, we have virus, corrosion, EMP, and front shield. The key here is corrosion. Corrosion with Mercy Kill makes it reset cooldown when you kill the target, and so you can apply it all the time. And since we have this perk, Play It Safe, which gives us, okay, it's 4 charges of armor for every device we activate for the next 5 seconds. This means we have to space our activations several seconds. Sometimes these 4 shots come in quickly and you have no shield anymore, but usually they last at least like 3-4 seconds. So if you have an enemy close by, don't corrosion and annihilate him at the same time immediately. Corrosion, wait several seconds, then annihilator. Also, if you have an enemy dying nearby and there are many enemies around, it's tempting to EMP, but wait, kill the enemy, corrosion the next enemy, and then wait several seconds, then EMP. And so this perk makes us space our activations a little bit, like 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, like that. And the front shield is just good because it like reduces damage you take, and it lets you protect yourself from the front. Sometimes when you get hammered by these scouts or protectors, and you can't really like find where they are. Maybe you have this debuff which doesn't show their names, and you can't quickly find it without seeing its name, like they're all ancients on your sensors. You can use this turn towards the enemy and at least you will survive some shots. Yep, so the perks, this is a must, like anyone takes this perk in the end game because this is just straight up reduction. You always strafe, and I do the up and down like this. I don't know, maybe someone does it differently, but you always basically try to dodge your enemies, and you always use boost for that, so it's faster. That's why you always
are approaching. Combat appears inevitable.
Take this Exosurgy perk, thank you Hive, to make sure you get less damage. Then there's Play It Safe. This is what makes us like take way less damage. Then the build is focused around crits and AoE crits. As you saw with the boss dying, this is what happened here. So we have Exploitation, which increases crit chance when the enemy is slowed, movement impaired. Then we have Crit Happens, which makes crits splash damage. And then we have Critical Faculty, which makes crits restore ultimate. You can also take Unyielding Assault, which will make it like easier to survive when you have problems surviving. But when you have enough survivability, you should take Critical Faculty. With Unyielding Assault, you just pop your ult and deactivate it when it's quarter towards the empty meter. And you just wait until the quarter restores again, activate it again, and this lets you live like way more. But when you're basically not dying anymore, at least you don't need this anymore, you can switch to Critical Faculty and just use the ultimate on cooldown for the full duration. It's going to give you a lot of damage. Right, and then Symphony of Destruction. This is what killed the boss for me, which was very lucky, which makes you splash the enemy full hit points when you crit it to death. So when you kill the crit, and you have a higher chance, like if you have a crit chance of 20%, you might think your chance to kill the enemy with a crit is 20%, but it's not, because you have a higher chance to kill the enemy with a bigger damage. So it's an even better chance to kill them with your crit than just your crit chance. So you have your crit chance, you have increase for the crit chance here, this increases your crit chance further, and then you have this, which means like you, at least like a half of the time, or maybe, I don't know, close to half of the time, you will splash your enemy health towards other enemies. And this is what helped me kill the boss, because I think I destroyed one of its turrets or something, and this splashed the turret's hit points towards the boss. I think it might also get chained, like you hit the boss, crit happens, the turrets get splashed with the crit, the turrets die, Symphony of Destruction happens, and all the turrets which just died, they all Symphony of Destruction the boss, and so the boss can get like really nuked. And yeah, there are two bosses you usually can't kill until you get lucky like this. The teleport and the boost boss. And then there's the boss which does AoE damage, the ARC-like wave, and you have to get inside the bubble. And again, without the teleporter or the booster, it's often very hard to get inside the bubble in time. So it might be hard to beat that boss. Other bosses are just very easy. Okay, so this is about the devices and the perks. For the attributes, you need expertise, so you have a high rec interaction range. The hard cap is, like, the hard cap is infinity, but the soft cap is around 3k, I think. So you can see this is 149%, and this is 150%. It's like really insignificant at this point. So you should aim to have at least 3k in a stat. Maybe I should put it here now, so I have more rec interaction range. And you just need firepower, precision, and expertise. Maybe a bit of utility as well, sometimes, maybe. But I'd really prefer precision and firepower and expertise, mostly. Let's see. Yeah, not very important. This is better. So that's for the stats. For the passives, I think the passives you have to have are maximum number of drones, drones regenerate. I mean, don't have to have the drones regenerate passive. It's just very convenient. It's very convenient when they regenerate because you just don't have to spawn drones almost ever. They very rarely die. And drones violently explode upon death. This helps a lot because they slow enemies, which again makes the enemies take more crit chance from you and more crit damage, and crit happens and Symphony of Destruction happens and shit happens and everyone dies. The fourth passive is up to you. There is a passive which people love, which makes you get 10% shields for every drone you pick up. Problem is, the game lags when there are many enemies. Like, when will you need the passive which helps you restore your shield and which makes you hunt these wrecks when you have to like suddenly restore your shield? It's when you're in a pinch, when you are close to dying. In this case, first of all, you might look to the wreck, it might be too far. You have to find the next wreck, it's too far. You keep rotating for the wrecks, you die while you do it. Second problem, you have to click use, but the game doesn't really like responsively does this, if I can explain it. So the issue here is you click use, but since the game is lagging a bit, it doesn't get registered, and you like run past it, and now you no longer can use it because you're off the target, so you have to target it again. Oh my god, get wrecked. Whatever. So you try to kick use, but you move too far, now you have to move back again. It's basically not reliable at all. It's unreliable. What the hell? Let's kill this quickly. Nice. What else? Let's get our drones back. So why I don't like this passive is because you have to look for drones, you turn towards a drone, it's too far, okay, you can't use it, you look the next drone. It's just not worth it. It doesn't really save your ass. Like, it doesn't save you from dying. And that's why you just don't waste your time on this, and if you're close to dying, you do something else. Like, you rotate towards your enemy, you use your front shield against that, or you use your consumable shield against that, or something. But you don't try to look for drones to patch you up. And again, it might be so that you are dying, but your drones are full health, and you can't pick up the wreck, or your drones are, like, the wrecks are all gone, you don't have a wreck. So I don't like that passive, but you can choose whatever you want. For the fourth slot, I took reduced damage from enemy drones, but again, you don't need it that much. You can take anything. You can take, when drone dies, you 20% weapon damage, also nice. Equipment. Consumables are nanobots, because you have to heal if you get really like damaged. Damage booster for the bosses and just general to help you in the rifts sometimes. Energy shield, this saves you from dying, because this lets you like survive if you get massively alpha striked, like everyone fires at you, you're almost dead. This can help you survive and regain some armor and shields. And this, like, you don't have anything nice to put here. I put this because why not? You can put anything in this slot. So the gear is very important, and the gear is what makes this possible. Thermogun. Why Thermogun? Because there's so much happening around us, it's very hard to actually find like what to fire at next. It's very easy to fire a Thermogun, see where the shots come, which direction, and turn towards it. Also, because Thermogun is almost always going to hit the enemy, like it's almost 100% chance to hit, because it's homing, and you get it to critical hits have a chance to recharge, and 2% chance to slow. These two you absolutely require, and this makes it so that you almost never run out of energy, because it's very fast firing weapon, and so that you slow your enemy down very frequently, which increases your crit chance because of the perk. So I feel no other gun is really good for this ship. You could use your Shredder or your Gauss cannon, but again, this one always hits, so even if the Shredder or the Gauss Cannon has like huge damage, like 10k, this has like 4k damage. But this 4k damage is about equal when you fight enemies at far distance, because this always hits, and this like doesn't always hit. So this gun, preferably of course you want it Starforged, and preferably of course you want some prefix like Rapid or Powerful, so you can install Catalyst Barrage. Because if you don't have Rapid or Powerful perk, you will install Catalyst Powerful or Rapid. What is better, I don't remember. And anyways, you will install a Catalyst which will boost your damage by about 20%, but Barrage boosts your damage by 30% after you keep firing a lot. And you will just hold your fire button all the time, so this will be active all the time, and this is very good. Now, you will use Commander set, so you have your Shredder in your second slot. Shredder is nice because it's an inverted Gauss Cannon. Gauss Cannon has high energy DPS, Shredder has high kinetic DPS. It has low range, but we have a big range on Thermogun, so you don't care. And it has increased critical hit damage, which is nice because we crit. Again, you want it to slow down the enemies, and you want it to have a critical hits 40% chance to recharge. And then the third is up to you. It must be calibrated. If it's not calibrated, it won't hit anything except the bosses. So you install calibrated Catalyst on it. Unless it comes calibrated, then you can install Barrage and have more damage. So the best in slot is calibrated Shredder with Barrage on it. And the final slot, you have to have web missiles, doesn't matter what kind. You want to have on primary weapon critical fire a free missile. You also want to have cannot be intercepted and lock duration decreased. It's very easy to roll, like it doesn't take many rerolls to get it, because missiles without damage have very little pool of what they can pick from when they roll their special traits. And so, the modifiers. And so it's very easy to get these 3 modifiers because the amount of modifiers is very small. Like this one here, Thermoguns deals 20% damage. It's insane how hard it is to get this. Just because there are so many options on the sensor. You can have every weapon deals 2% more damage. You can have all these buffs like hull damage reduction, tractor beam, when you stay still you detect more like further away. So many stuff to choose from. It's insane how hard it is to get the Thermoguns deal increased damage. I use this when I'm casually flying around, just to overkill enemies when I don't go into the rifts. So I deal even more damage with the main weapon. So this one makes you slow enemies constantly, in addition to these kinds of slow. And this makes you easy to hit the enemies, and it makes the enemies receive more crit chance because of your passives. Now, this one, again, so you can see it's a Commander set. We use Commander because Commander is the best set. Basically, it's the set for the Vindicator. All the set bonuses are insane. Number 2 is just nice. Number 3, it's what will keep you alive. Number 4, many drones in the game are sent to harass you, so they stay near you. Like they try to strafe near you and fire at you, or they try to web you. So this thing will constantly convert drones to fight for you. Then there are drones which follow the enemy. Drones which follow the enemy, unless they die from your crit happen splash, you often get close to these enemies because they are slow. The enemies which have drones at them are usually slow, and usually in the rifts it's the enemy which you can't kill quickly because it has like a frontal shield, for example, because the drone gives him the shield, or it has a lot of armor because drone gives him armor. And so you stay close to them and you get these drones applied to yourself now. You get a shield for free, and so on and so forth. It's very nice. And since we have the Commander set, for the Commander set, since we have that, this thing is insane. Because you have 2 options here. You have this and you have Bob. Both these options, this and Bob, they help you survive because you have enemies like you have extra units, allies, and that means that these extra units take the fire on themselves. So the enemies shoot at the units, not on you. So even if you play like a gunship, you still want to have Bob, the other cargo module, which spawns one drone for you, because it's like a 50 chance you don't get shot at. So it's like a 50% damage reduction, because enemies will shoot your Bob and not you. This one is a bit worse, because in the rifts you kill enemies quite slowly, and so there's 50% chance to revive them for at maximum 12 seconds. You can see what's the maximum by doing modify and trying to install flawless. You will see what happens here. But I don't install flawless here because I need peripheral here so I can fit 4 legendaries here. So this is worse because usually you won't kill an enemy fast enough. So you will have like, you know, sometimes it will be there, sometimes not, this extra unit. Sometimes multiple units, but again, sometimes not. But the cool thing here is that they die quickly and you get a new shield. So they keep dying and you keep getting your shield back. So you keep restoring your shield all the time because these guys, they die. Your drones will not die frequently, which is good. But you won't get your shield back. But these guys will die all the time and get your shield back. So this is like a huge boost. I take peripheral here because I have 4 legendaries. You don't have to have these 4 legendaries, but I like them all. So I take peripheral here. Next is the recon booster. This is not the best actually. Maybe I can have a better one someday. Anyways, recon booster. You must have recon booster because 30% reduced enemy detection range. This is actually insane. It's a very subtle thing. It's insane because it means the enemies will target your allies more. They will target your drones, your fallen, like Wrath of the Fallen enemies revived. It's very great. It's the best. So you have to have this booster. Even though there are nice boosters, other boosters like legendary boosters, this booster is very good. And you want to have this booster. Next, this one, Visions of Decay. I thought this is better, Thermoguns deal more damage, but then I calculated it's good. So why is it good? Because if you get 20% damage on Thermoguns, this deals like extra, what, 800 damage per second? Yep, extra 800 DPS here. But here, this does 2.7 damage. Why so little? Let me see. Okay, I thought it dealt more. Anyways, 2.7 multiplied by 120, that's gonna be about 5,500 damage per second. That's DPS. That's 5,500 DPS on 4 enemies. Up to 5 enemies. It's very, 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 very much. It's a lot. It's gonna help you a lot. So this is very, very nice legendary for this build. Next we have the frontline armor. We have to have the armor for the commander set. And this is nice because it reduces your armor damage when you have enemies close by. Not very much, like not very important, but quite nice to have. And I have it with 5% decreased armor hit points for each equipped warfare device, which is also nice. Not very important again, but also nice. You usually tank with your shield on the Vindicator. Your armor is not very good, but still it's better than nothing. But don't like spend all your resources on it, because again, armor is insane. There are so many different attributes, modifiers, which can spawn on armor. It's very hard to roll your armor to get what you want. This is basically a godsend. It's the best stats and the best third option I just got. If I would try to roll this by doing modify and reroll bonus, I would spend like everything and get nothing. Next, this shield. This shield is very nice. It's again, it's all coming together for our Necromancer Vindicator. Because this shield, it spawns 2 clones which take fire. which again distract enemies and make enemies target them when you get your shield depleted. What's nice, the shutdown duration is 14 seconds. So for the 14 seconds, you have these enemies around you. But your shield gets reset when one of the ref of the fallen guys die. So it gets reset. And so now you have these guys around you which make you take less damage, but your shield is full. What's even better, what I think, is if you get hit on the shield then, since the recharge delay triggers, the shield, like, it gets reset. Like, let me explain. If you have your shutdown duration in progress, if you have your shield wiped and enemy shoots you, and as long as enemy keeps shooting you, you won't get your shield back. You have to stay 14 seconds without being hit. And so what I think happens is that since you get hit again, the shield, even if though it's almost full, it actually doesn't like consider itself to be finished with the shutdown duration. The shutdown duration keeps getting reset, and so you have to wait until you don't get hit for 14 seconds before these ships disappear, which is very nice. And then you have Equilibrium Energy Core. This is not really important, but I found it quite useful. Why? Because what it does is it will recharge other two when you consume the third type of energy. What this means is, as I understand it, if you boost, you spend boost energy. So if you boost, you spend here 500 energy consumption. I actually shouldn't have done this, I think. I did echo here, and let me see. Maybe I shouldn't have put echo here, because this actually makes this worse. Anyways, 500 energy consumption per second, so it means my weapons will get 200 energy per second when I'm boosting. So this consumes not 1,600 but 1,400 now. If our shield gets recharged, so while it is recharged, it's consuming energy for the shield. It's consuming 4,000 per second. So again, this will recharge my weapons when my shield gets recharged. And this is insane. I tested this one versus this one, which seems like a good choice for using EMP to shock enemies. But with this one, I almost always have enough weapon energy. With this one, I almost always have to switch from my Gauss to my Gauss from my thermal gun because it's out of energy. So this is very good, but not like insanely good. It's not like build defining like this one. So this is like the only build defining legendary here. These are just very nice, but still nice. And so I have to put Catalyst Commander here. So I have four Commander set bonus because I only have 1, 2, and 3 Commander items. And I put a Tides of the Siren Sea set here and here because I like increased alt. You can also choose the Storm Chaser, I believe, which gives you more energy orbs. Also great. And if you, for example, have a natural like shield from this set, which I don't recommend because that shield sucks. But if you do, you don't have legendary here, you don't need to put peripheral here, you can put an extra Tides, I mean not the Tides, Tides is awful free set bonus, extra Storm Chaser, and you'll have damage reduction, so you will have free Storm Chaser bonus. But since I have this setup, I use 2 Tides of the Siren Sea set bonus. And so that's the build. We basically stack all we can about allies. Allies are dying, which resets our shield. Allies take away damage from us. We get allies from the shield. We get allies from the cargo module. We get this ally here if we need to. We get allies from our spatial and passives all the time. We also make it easy for us by using thermogun, and we stack crit and slow in order to splash damage and kill enemies quickly. So in terms of the gates, you cannot take the gate which makes enemies deal splash damage when they die. It kills you. It just randomly will kill you outright. It's no use. You cannot take the gate, which makes you unable to target enemies, I think. Maybe I'm wrong, and it doesn't let you lock on targets. If it doesn't let you lock, it's fine. If it doesn't let you target, it's no use, because you will be able to fire your thermogun. I think it's the worst option. You can't target. There is this very annoying gate which makes you like makes bubbles spawn which explode. Again, this is very bad because you don't have much mobility and don't want to be worrying about these bubbles. And mines are very bad. Not terrible, but quite bad, because they will kill your drones and then the enemies will attack you. But mines are tolerable. Toxic clouds are bad but tolerable. Detonator drones spawn your way is actually very easy. It's a very expensive modifier. It's supposed to be hard, but it's easy because you just keep firing. And your projectiles will keep hitting the drone which spawned and kill it too. So no problem there. Let me throw away stuff. Yeah, I got this already. So yeah, that's basically it. And general gameplay I've shown you. You just make sure you strafe like this, up, down, and boost all the time. And you make sure to face towards enemies and so on and so forth. Kill the enemies which are horrible and very like easily can kill you, and so on and so forth. So yeah, long video. Long time I spent coming here, like to this point, and finally beat the game, at least like with one ship. Gonna try gunship next. So I hope it was useful, and I hope someone got something out of this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and maybe see you again in the next video. Goodbye. By the way, if you have any questions, of course ask them, I will try to answer, and so on and so forth. I'm glad to share this. I used other people's guides. It's from Steam, by Maduk. Yep. So, gotta thank him for helping with the guide, which got me going, so I hope I can also help someone by sharing this. Anyways, now, thank you all very much for watching again, and see you in the next video.
You think you will accomplish anything by simply idling here?